The rapid evolution of technology is revolutionizing the financial services landscape. From cloud computing and artificial intelligence to digital payments and cybersecurity, innovative solutions are transforming the way financial institutions operate. Well, in this discussion, we'll delve into the latest technological advancements and explore their impact on the financial sector. Well, I am joined by Tope Adenle, Vice President, Card Services, Qore, for this conversation. Thank you so much for joining me today, Tope.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Tope, I'd like you to talk to us about some of the most significant opportunities and challenges in the region's financial sector. From there we can then move up the conversation.
Yeah, I think first is that, within the sector, especially speaking within the range of Africa, the opportunities and challenges I find that speaking to some of the opportunities, it will be financial inclusion. If I look at what the numbers are saying right now, the financial inclusion score will be somewhere between maybe 45 to 55 if you aggregate it across countries. What this means is if you take, let's say 50, which is the median of that range, it means there's another opportunity of 50% to get these people included into an ecosystem where everybody is a part to make payments, save money, earn money, and also transfer these monies digitally. I think the second thing will just be around the mobile payment. Just speaking to opportunities now, mobile payment in the sense that as mobile phones and other platforms that enable seamless conversation, seamless transfer of information are penetrating across Africa. This also kind of lends itself to where money can be moved. And I think there's opportunity. There's so much opportunity in this space. One of the things I really like to look at is the cross-border trade and payments. We strongly believe at Qore that one of the ways to look at Africa is to look at it from the perspective of a very big multinational, where the borders are, as a matter of fact, there's an analogy, which is imagine that the entire space within Africa is on a sheet of paper, and what you are playing is X and O's, and ensuring that the X align and the O's align as quickly as possible. It's ensuring that regulations across the different countries, they are as aligned as possible. It's ensuring that infrastructural development, they move at almost the same pace, meaning that people like us have to create and also commercialize across the space. I think insurance penetration, as we kind of move across Africa, there's travel, and with travel comes insurance, and with insurance means people being able to do things comfortably, taking a little bit of more risk, and ensuring that digitization, pacing infrastructure adoption is quicker than it can be. I think we also need to earn our license to operate. So there's an opportunity in the green finance space and sustainability. So speaking from an opportunity standpoint, those are the few things I'll put in that bucket. From the challenges kind of perspective, it will be the infrastructure. I think right now there is a lot of opportunities in adopting new infrastructures, building on what we have. It is not alien to all of us that infrastructure is something that is still problematic in Africa, Nigeria inclusive. I think regulatory fragmentation is also a problem. And I'm not saying that we're not making improvements or we're not making advances across the country. I think that collaboration between different African nations may be facilitated by the African Development Bank and other institutions that can step into that space and ensure that the fragmentation is reduced as possible.
Absolutely.
The literacy level.
Okay, just land on that thought.
Yes, and the literacy level, I think, for you to speak the language of digitization, there is the basic understanding of what the language should be, and that literacy level needs to be improved. And that is also some of the things that we are doing at Qore to ensure that people can interact with solutions as simply as possible.
Well, that's interesting. You said something that really struck me, and that's cross-border payment. It's something I would like you to talk to us about. But generally speaking, I'd like you to talk to us about unique challenges that Qore is actually addressing. Is cross-border payment one of those things you're addressing, or what are these other things you're trying to address?
Yes, actually. So one of the things, and I'll speak to it from first the infrastructure standpoint, the solution we're providing then to the core of the payment. So first is at Qore, one of the things we've done is we've built core banking application, which is more or less the bedrock on which financial transactions or even operations generally are being done. To enable all financial institutions in Africa have access to it, no matter the tier of your service or the tier you occupy within the entire ecosystem. There's something for everybody. We've created that to enable cross-border payments, cross-border transactions to happen in a seamless way. Now, how are we doing that? Because we've created these things, we've extended it to this customers because we're commercializing that pace. With the adoption of this across the different countries, it means there's a common ground, there's an infrastructure that can then lend itself to flexibility, to ensuring that sync can happen across banks or institutions that have multiple interests in different countries. cross-border payment is basically being able to pay, like a Nigerian being able to pay Kenya and a Kenyan being able to pay Ghana and all. And just look at it from the point of view of an institution that has an entity in Nigeria using a core infrastructure as the platform to which they do their operations. It means that if there are customizations that you need to do, if there are tweaks here and there that you need to make, it is easy to make them because you can come on board our service, you can give us that very simple brief, and then we can make it happen for you. But I think sometimes we kind of make these things as complex because of the language of tech that we speak. But basically it is, as institutions continue to lend their tentacles across Africa, we as Qore, we have a software that enables you to do this thing in a way that is so unified. And in cases where customizations are required, as little as language, we're able to do it for you in a very seamless way to achieve that objective.
Okay, I'd like you to actually go more on this and talk to us more about this. I'd like you to sort of share insights into Qore's digital banking solutions and how they sort of cater to the needs of African banks and financial institutions. That's on the one hand. It's more like a double barrel question right here, because I know you've said some of them. I just want something, more simplified. Yeah, that's the word. Also, financial inclusion is a significant goal across Africa. How does Qore's technology contribute to reaching the unbanked or underserved populations? I'm asking this question because you're big on digital. So I'm wondering, if you are big on digital, what about the underserved? Would they be captured?
Okay, so kind of starting from, what we've built at Qore, what is available at Qore. And I'll just take 3 products because I think I have about 45 seconds. So it is, first we have, let me just restrict it to the top 3. Top 3 would be the core banking application. And within that is the platform that enables embedded finance. What I mean by that is we have a core banking application, the backbone service that can cater to enterprises being banks as big as the commercial banks in Nigeria, and also those as small as microfinance banks across the world. Like I said, we have it so segmented that whatever it is that your operation capabilities or capacity is, we have that size that fits you. That's number one. And in that is just simplification of so many operations. It is also the unification of operations across multiple countries. So let's hold that towards. The second thing would be something like the card issuance service, which is the business I manage within Qore. We, as Qore, we've graduated from the pre-personalized card issuance, and I know you said I should keep my language simple, which is card issuance that involves a number of parties or entities to enable the customer walk into a bank and get a card. These cards are pre-personalized, meaning they've been more or less prepared before you get there. We, as people that prioritize IP, intellectual property that are built in Nigeria, we've created something called Prime. And this has been existing for over like 7-8 years now, whereby you can walk into a bank directly. And then within that instance, that is you saying the instruction or the request to the customer service officer. The card preparation process starts immediately and finishes within a period of 2 minutes, 17 seconds. That is how we're also empowering people to ensure that, they are able to fully service their customers or their clients in a way that is simple, seamless, more importantly, cost-effective. I'll go to the third one, which would be the recover service. Recover service is basically, as a matter of fact, just to paint a picture of what it is imagine a world where institutions are able to lend at scale, and this lends itself to financial inclusion. Able to lend at scale because there is comfort that there is an institution like Qore that is able to enable you collect your money that is lent, because we've done a lot of integration across banks. More importantly, are also able to lend at scale because we are able to kind of empower you to make the right assessments, make the right scoring for individuals that are looking to lend money to you. We know that credit is at the soul of growth, especially in emerging economies like ours. So if you look at these 3 things, we have done something that is enriching an ecosystem in a way that the financial inclusion piece of your question is enabled. Core banking system enables these individuals to render banking services at scale and also customized in a way that it reaches almost everybody. There is a card system that empowers this individual that is earning money. No matter where you are, you can actually take just one card, an instrument or a tool of transaction, walk into any space that accepts cards, and then you are able to do your transactions. And if you layer that on Recover, that is, if you combine the entire 3, it is the core banking service of the bank, the card that empowers this individual. The individual is able to access credits because the bank is able to give this individual credit, because the bank is able to track the transactions that the individual is doing through the cards and other platform, because the core banking application kind of shows this thing as a ledger that shows transparency and everything. I think if you marry our solutions in a way like this, or if you look at it in a way like this, you will see how we're empowering the African citizen. It's an individual, it's a journey that is at scale, but again, the focus is that individual. You've said, I think the last part of your question is that financial inclusion is quite huge, and what are we doing specifically to this?
Absolutely.
We know that our role in this Yeah, we know that our role in this ecosystem is a tech provider, and the best way to service that African citizen that is probably even faceless at the moment is to ensure that the software delivered to the right capacity, number one. Secondly, is that it's simplified in a way that no matter the literacy level, you are able to interact with it as seamlessly as possible. And then the last piece is putting tools or creating the next level of innovation that will enable you kind of go on your journey of inclusion in a less intrusive manner, but more importantly, in a way that you see the financial returns in a very short time. I'll give an example of Prosler, which is one of the solutions where it's a merchant service or it's a collection service. Let me put it in that literal terms. So again, using that institution that has the core banking application from Qore called Backbone, marrying that with that same institution that has the cards business or cards system and then the recover system. So this individual, let's say Tope, who is a bricklayer in the northern part of Nigeria, especially that area that is very close to the border, receives payment from this developer that is building in that area, but their head office is in Lagos. Because the microfinance bank that is in between the person paying and the person receiving the payment uses the core banking application, the person is able to get instant reflection of a credit the day he or she is paid. Now, the second part is because this person has the card from Qore. You can take that card, which is a reflection of your bank account in a way that you can spend from it, and walk to a merchant or a collection system where you can just present this card. You go through a card transaction and you get your money out for you.
Okay.
And then build enough credit for transaction where you can also get credit.
Thank you so much, Tope. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but we just have to end it. I mean, I would have really loved you to talk about the AI-powered virtual reality, but of course, we don't have that time now. Thank you so much. Maybe some other time we'll pick up the conversation from here. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you.